Here's a Monday solo Dolo workout with yours truly. Mondays for us are almost always guaranteed a day off. And when I say day off, that just means no team practice, no team film, shoot around, nothing made mandatory by the coaching staff. And this past weekend was actually the qualifier for the national team. So the whole league got 2 or 3 days off. So I got some good rest, spent some time with my teammate in Montenegro, which was a good time. But the start of this week means it's time to get back to work. And being in season, I really don't train heavy very often. I want to try to be as fresh as I can for every game. And pretty much the only day I can try to take advantage of doing some heavyweight training, really make some gains, is these Mondays. Especially this week, we don't play till Sunday, so I got a lot of time to recover. So start off with some mobility and some work for my legs, my quads, and my hamstrings specifically. Have always had some issues with my knees in the past, so really just trying to get my mobility and my knees right. Me personally, the stronger and more flexible my legs are, the better I feel on the court throughout the whole season. So I really try to maximize these Mondays as much as I can. So here's some band holds for my quads, as well as some full range squats for that mobility I was talking about. Just started doing these like last month, and I feel like they're a good addition to my warm-up. Now, don't quote me on this exercise. I'm just trying it out because I saw some people do it. Doing iso holds on a leg extension machine like this right here has really helped my knees in the past and helped my legs just feel good in general. But we don't have that piece of equipment in our weight room, so I've really been trying to search for a supplement for that. And I'm pretty sure I saw this way of going about it on Instagram. I was hoping I would kind of get the same results as the leg press. And it was okay. I mean, it felt somewhat similar, but you're really bottlenecked by how much weight you can hold with that kettlebell on your foot. Not the most comfortable thing, but hopefully sometime soon I'll find a better alternative. And now most of the exercises I'm doing are with the Strong by Science team. Not all of them are, because depending on how the week goes, I like to listen to my body and feel out what I need during the season. But I really like these skips as a warm-up to get my body moving and a little bit of a sweat. Feel like I'm a track athlete, just trying to move a little explosive, a little quick, and attempt to be a little more fluid than I know I really am. And again, since today's my heaviest day of the week, I want to make sure I'm really warmed up, ready to go. I'm going to do a lot of jumps and some heavy movements in the weight room, so I just want to make sure I'm prepared for all that. So I already know I'm going to be a little sore going into the next day after this workout, so I just want to make sure my body bounces back and responds in as positive a manner as possible after this. After the skips, get into some jumps to get warmed up a little more, and just some rhythm jumps from the workout plan, and then into my basketball-specific jumps. Now this is a reactive series where I'm throwing the ball behind me, having to go get it with speed and finish. I did this drill with Mr. Strong by Science about a year ago, and I really think it helped with not only my jump height, but also my quickness off the floor. The whole purpose of being turned around and going to get the ball, it doesn't allow me to time up my steps and have the perfect jump angle every single time. I have to be able to attack the rim at the most direct angle possible and just get up as high as I can. And I'll take these over a jump drill in the weight room any day. And anytime I can choose hoops over the weight room for a drill, I want to do that. At the end of the day, I am just trying to get better at basketball. I'm not trying to get better at the weight room. And in between rest sets, I make sure I'm productive by hitting some free throws when I'm tired. Really no excuse not to do those, because it's not like it's taking any more energy, just a little bit of focus like you will in the game. Now I'm doing 3 or 4 of these from each of the 3 spots around the arc, making sure to alternate which sides I flip and turn to get different footwork on the way up. And they're not always going to be perfect. I'm not going to jam every single one of them. But I mean, hey, that's pretty game-like as well. You're not always going to catch the ball and have a perfect lane to the basket to go get a dunk. You're going to have to read and react and get to the rim as efficiently as possible. And to wrap up my jumps, I do some approach jumps, first from close in, maybe just 1 step. Again, forcing myself to work on footwork that I'm not always used to. And as you can probably tell, coming from the right side is way weaker than my left side. Coming to that right-left finish as opposed to the left-right. And it's just something I need to get more comfortable with, so that in the game I can go off either foot depending on what the situation calls for. Only doing 2 from each side, then doing some free throws during that break time, then taking a couple steps back and doing the same thing over again. And after all these, I get about 30 jumps in, which is pretty high volume. But again, it's early in the week, so I'm not too worried about it. After the jumps, I transitioned to some heavy trap bar. Now the workout plan called for back squat, but my back's been a little stiff and sore lately, so I adapted it just to get what I needed this week. Earlier in the year, I wasn't taking these days to do the extra heavy lifts, and I could really tell that over time my legs were just getting weaker and weaker, and in the game I could feel it as well. And as much as I love these Monday rest days and would love to just kick back and not do much, once I started taking advantage of this day and lifting heavy and making the most of it, I felt a lot better. So here I'm just kind of working my way up in weight, 2 to 3 reps, 15 kilos at a time going up, making sure I move the weight smooth with a decent pace on the way up. And I only got up to about 360 pounds for 2 or 3 reps at the end of this, which is a significant drop off from where I was in the preseason. It's not easy to maintain that weight training over the length of an entire season. So some fall off is bound to happen, but I'm really trying to minimize that as much as possible at this point. And here's one more exercise just to work on my mobility again. Those are some kickstand squats just to again help my knees a little bit. But yeah, after this trap bar workout, I'm pretty much done. Get some stretching in at the end of the workout, but that's pretty much the whole Monday. And if you're wondering where all my shooting is, don't worry, I did end up having some shoot around with some teammates later on that night. So yeah, I'd consider this a pretty productive Monday.